Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Small Town Talk. Grab your coffee, your tea, and let's talk about this subject. So, as I told you on Thursday, it was going to be about family secrets. And as we all know, we do have them. So, this family secret here is on the subject of those families that touches on children. This is a personal issue for me because it did happen to me. So I want to start this out right here. If that's a personal subject for you, a touchy subject for you, bring back too much pain, too much memories, please feel free to not watch this video because it do talking about personal issues of an adult touching on a child. So when I was a child, of course, I didn't know what it was. I had a relative that used to play strip poker with me. Actually, of course, I always lost. Didn't know anything about strip poker, cards, gambling. I mean, I was around the age of 6, 7 years old. So that family member wouldn't actually do go inside of me, should I say, but would touch me, or I would always lose the game and have to take off a shirt or something of that matter. I never told either of my parents, my mother or my father. My mother was raising me as a single parent, but my father was active in my life to the point where I did visit him, but I still didn't tell him. I did keep this secret for quite some time. When I first brought it out, I was an adult. And I did tell my mom eventually. I did tell my children. But again, as a child, I didn't tell anyone. It's just that's all he did. Or I was really bad, kind of a fighter growing up. So I would fight my siblings, and he would say, "Come on, I'm gonna go in the house and spank you." And then he would take me in the house and kind of hunch on me a little, as they say. Like I said, he would never go inside, just kind of rub or whatever have you. But I've never told anyone. But as an adult, I told and started sharing it and bringing it up in conversations. Brought it up to my aunts, and they just looked, like, "Oh wow, really?" But come to find out, I was not the only person once I started sharing it with my cousins and things of that nature. So the thing is, the aunts, the uncles, the other uncles, they know about this person now and act as if it never happened, ignoring the fact that basically this family member was a pedophile. So we go to family functions and cookouts, and everyone pretend it never happened. And I remember once, it was a gathering at one of my family members' house, and we all kind of gather up all the time. And this, I'm an adult now, had children, and that family member, I said something slick at the mouth or something of that nature, and that family member said, "I'll spank you." And immediately I got angry. And I said, "If you put your hand on me for the things you have done to me as a child, I will take your life away from you. And I guarantee you I'm not going to do any serious time." So, of course, the other relatives looked at me because they knew at this time that that particular family member had been touching me as a child, because I had previously told them before that day, prior months. So before that day ever even appeared. So they all looked at me, and shockingly, at that time, I'm not shocked now, but shockingly at that time, they pretend I didn't say anything. They paused for a moment, looked in shock, like they can't believe I said that to that person. And everybody just started talking just as if I didn't say anything. Now, only reason I'm gonna say this family member name because they made it a live post once about them being touched as a child, and they said something to me that I never realized. But since that day, I feel the same way, and I go by that standards of measure as well. It was my cousin Vonsuela. She put on there that she don't go around that person. She don't go to any family cookouts or anywhere around that individual that touched her as a child. Until she said that, I used to go to family function this family member was at. I used to be around this family member, acting as if nothing happened to me as well. But when she said that, it made me realize, because I was attending functions that family member was at, because I was communicating with that family member when they came around, I was as guilty as those family members that pretended it didn't happen, pretended that this person was not a pedophile. So instantly, I said to myself, I would never attend another family function. I would never go to another family cookout. And if I go and that particular family member comes around, I will leave. And of course, everybody's situations are different. Everyone handled things differently. But I'm going to tell you what it did to me as an adult. As an adult, it didn't make me angry at all men. It didn't make me hate all men. It made me overly protective. That is what it did for me. I was overly protective of my children. Kids can come and stay with my kids, but my kids couldn't go off and stay off weekends with other children. I have did it maybe once with Keandra, maybe twice. Little buddy, he's a boy, so back then things was different. Now you have to watch your little boys too, but back then, you know, it wasn't so much of watching the boys. But then I had two more girls. Of course, they never went and stayed off. I didn't allow them to stay to no one else's house. It made me to the point where I had to protect myself. I was overly protective of myself. I'm still that way. I don't trust everyone. I don't trust what someone tells me. I don't trust them around my grandchildren. I'm overly protective of my grandchildren. I don't like for them to attend any events unless it is me or their mother. They surely can't stay the night with anyone unless their mom is staying overnight as well. So it didn't make me hate men, but it made me overly protective. And when things of that nature happen to an individual, where some may move on or they hear about it and it's so, oh, well, you know, with the person that it happened to, such as myself, is just like yesterday. You can tell exactly what happened from the minute to the hours, seconds, as if it happened yesterday. It is something that sticks with you, stays with you. And every so often, you get that remembrance. You remember how it felt. You remember what it was like. Even though I was a child and I didn't know at the time what was going on, when I became an adult, it's like, wow, I can't believe that person did that to me. And then for the family members, the aunts and the uncles that moved on and act like everything is okay, those are the same ones that'll sit up when it happened to Oprah. Oh, I feel so sorry for her. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Oh man. But yet you have family members that won't even acknowledge that it happened to someone in their family. They won't have no sympathy. Pretend it never happened. Pretend you're lying, basically, but then you would sympathize with Oprah or whoever, someone that you don't even know, someone that you have no knowledge of, someone you don't even have only heard them over a talk show, but you won't acknowledge it to the person that it happened to in your family. So with that being said, it changed my life. And again, and shout out to Vansuela. Thank you for opening my eyes. And I say shout out to you because you won't even go around that person. You won't even give that person the grace of your presence. And I was a fool. I was still going around. I was basically pretending to. Still, not acknowledging that this person did this to me. So thank you for opening my eyes to see, hey, you have no business going around this person that violated you as a child. You have no business gracing this individual with your presence. This person doesn't even should be given a communication with you. So I do want to shout out, thank Vonsuela for opening my eyes to that part of the situation. And to the family members that ignore it, shame on you. Shame on you for looking at television, celebrities, sympathizing. Oh, I can just imagine. But then when it comes to your family, you ignore it. You pretend it never happened. And the sad thing is, unlike me, there are individuals this has happened to go through depression. Haven't been able to gain a relationship with no one. No male can't even gain a relationship fully with their children. You have some people have even committed suicide because of this type of situation. Fortunate for me, I've never wanted to harm myself. I have wanted to harm that individual. I have wanted to just go in a rage about it. Never have. I really have never spoken with the person on the level of what they did to me as a child. And again, I was maybe 6 or 7, and I imagine by now they will pretend that it never happened. And I know some of you may ask, why didn't I tell my mother? It was levels to that as well. My mother raised me. My daddy was active. And even as a child, I knew if I told my mother, it was going to get so bad that I may be taken away from her. So my fear was losing my mother and not taken away from her for as in the system of DCNF or CPI, some people call it welfare office. Not in the level of losing her in that perspective, but losing her to incarceration. I honestly felt like if my mom would have knew when I was young what that individual did to me, she would have hurt that individual. And as a child, I even thought what would happen to me and my siblings if I told my mom and she lost it. I honestly felt like she would have lost it. Now, to that individual that did this to me, I hope they do see this video. And I hope someone showed them this video. My thing is, you never apologize to what you did to me. You never said, I'm sorry. You never said, forgive me for what I did to you as a child. You walk around as if you didn't do this to me. And I wonder, when you see me as an adult, do you ever think about what you did? And if you did, please God, I hope it's not in the matter of, ooh, she turned out to be a nice looking young lady. I hope it's, oh my God, I can't believe I did that to her. But you never acknowledged it. So to you, shame on you. Shame on you for touching me as a child. Shame on you for call yourself teaching me strip poker, but nobody was stripping but me. Shame on you. And I wonder if you did this to someone else, the things you did to me. I have heard you taught other family members, but they never told me of what magnitude that you went through. With me, you would touch me. You would get on me and hunch on me, as they say. But you never went inside of me. So I'm wondering, what magnitude, what level did you take with the others? And for those of the other family members that never told anyone, I suggest you reach out, because sometimes we do need someone to talk to. Sometimes, like I said, there are times you never think about it. It doesn't cross your mind. And then boom, for no apparent reason, it doesn't have to be anything that happened. You start thinking about it. You start going back to that day. Start going back to your mind. And sometimes it makes you angry that you couldn't protect yourself at that time. But I was 6 or 7 years old. What could I have done? Actually, what did I do to make you touch me, as far as that go? And I know I couldn't have did anything. I was not sexually active. I didn't know what sex was. Hadn't even heard of sex. So I was blind to really what was going on. So to those of the family members that this has happened to, and then you have those days where you down, you depressed, you feeling bad about it. Reach out, talk to someone Because sometimes you could be going through other things and then that comes up and you want to lose it. You want to just cry, hurt someone, ball up in a corner, isolate yourself. I have felt that way. Like I just want to get off to myself, not speak to anyone, not talk to anyone. I have even got so angry that I hated the other family members, the ones that I did tell that act as if it never happened. I have even got angry with them. They didn't do anything to me. They was not there, but because I told you guys, and he's still at the family cookout turning the meat with those pedophile hands. He still had the gatherings where he could come up and talk and nobody see him no different than what they thought he was before. No one look at him differently. Still, I would never allow my grandchildren to be left alone with him. Ever. I would never leave him to watch them. Because, like I said, you never apologized. You never said I was sorry. I don't even know if that was a phase you was going through or something that just kind of crossed your mind and you had to see. I'm not sure. I don't even care at this point. But you never even acknowledged that you did it to me. You see me and you talk to me as if you have never caused any mental harm to me. And yes, touching a child is mental harm. So I want you to like, share, subscribe. It'll be different levels of subjects I talk about. Again, some of them will be touchy, personal. This was a personal talk for me because it happened to me. For those of you that went through what I went through, I'm sorry that it had to happen to you. May God provide you with the strength to go on. I'm not going to say the strength to forget, because you don't never want to forget, because that keeps you where you are. That makes you who you are. That helps you stay on your toes with your kids, your grandkids, your safety. You know not to drop that safety net. I am my own safety net. I'm going to protect myself at all costs. I'm going to protect my kids, my grandkids at all costs. And I promised myself I would never again in my life allow anyone, family or otherwise, to take advantage of me. Ever. I would never let my guard down. Before I allow anyone to violate me as an adult, I would prefer to allow them to take my life away from me. And after you take my life away from me, if you then want to violate me, may God bless you. But while I'm alive, I would never allow another human being to violate me as a woman. I'd rather for you to take my life away from me. So I do want to thank you for spending this short, brief moment with me. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Send this to someone that may need this, may need to hear this, because sometimes for some reason we feel like we are alone. Yes, we hear about celebrities that have been through this, but what about those who are not celebrities? Our heart hurts. We've been through this. Our mental capacity is at an all high level. So yes, we need someone to talk to sometimes. We need someone to say, hey, I've been through this. You can overcome this. We need that. So share, like, subscribe this video. You know, this may help someone else. I hope it does. If you ever want to reach out to me, you can DM me. You could go through my website. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel. All of my information is up on my platforms, so you can, flip through my profile. You will see it. If you ever, in any time of the day, any time of the night, you need someone to talk to, you need some encouragement, you dealing with that devil side of you, you dealing with what that person did to you, feel free to DM me. Again, I will get on here Wednesday or Thursday of every week to let you know what subject I will be talking about that Saturday. If there's a particular subject you want me to talk about, let me know. If you want to write something that you want me to bring out during my live, I'll be more than happy to do so. I can read it. I can leave every name anonymous if you prefer you to be anonymous, or prefer the names that you put in the letter to be anonymous. I would do that as well. Sometimes we need others to speak for us. I am willing to speak to anyone. So again, it'll be every Wednesday, Thursday. I will let you know the subject I will be talking about on that Saturday. Like, share, subscribe. I want to thank you for listening to me on my Small Town Talk with Cassandra Jones. And you guys have a wonderful Saturday.